Marcus Gadson. I'm running for District 37 seat in the House of Representatives, and I wanted to come by and introduce myself. We have a primary coming up. Early voting starts February 12th, and Election Day is March 3rd. And as I get to know people, I was just hoping to hear a little bit about what's worrying you these days and what issues you really are most passionate about.
Hi, Marcus. Well, thank you for coming. I appreciate someone listening to the issues I have. The issue I have right now is the cost of living. I feel like everything the past just years at this point has been so expensive.
Absolutely, and I agree as well. As a resident of this area, I've watched groceries go up almost 300%, and watching my sister try to have childcare is near impossible, and I'm very concerned about the cost of living in our area as well.
And I have to say, so am I. I mean, I've got two little boys at home, and I actually feel the cost of childcare, and I feel the cost of groceries. My 5-year-old's going to have to get a job pretty soon because of how expensive groceries are. And so there's actually some specific things we can do. There are policy choices we could make that would actually make groceries more affordable and make life more affordable. So specifically, I want to bring back an earned income tax credit in North Carolina, which actually rewards people for working. I want us to have a child care tax credit to make daycare and childcare more affordable. And I want us to actually have a renter's deduction. People who pay rent don't get a tax deduction in this state, but people who are homeowners do get a deduction for mortgage interest. And I want to give a deduction to renters to help them out with their rent. And then finally, I want us to revisit some of the ways that we tax people. In particular, we have a 7.25% sales tax on over-the-counter medications, and when you're a family like mine with two little boys that are sick all the time, that's a real bite out of people's budget. And there are similar sales taxes, and I want us to revisit so that we're actually making sure that we don't tax people in ways that are making it very difficult for them to afford their expenses.
Wow, those actually sound like really good policies. I really appreciate you coming here today. I'm very interested in your campaign. I know you said early voting starts the 12th. What's the last day that I could early vote?
February 28th.
Okay.
And then Election Day itself is actually March 3rd. And do you have a plan to vote?
I do. Yeah, now that you said it was February 12th to 28th, I feel like I could definitely make a time to vote early. So I'm going to make that happen. And how do I find out where my early voting locations are?
You can go on NC Voter Lookup. It's actually online. You can just Google NC Voter Lookup, and then you click on that website, and that will pull up your polling place and where you need to go.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I appreciate you coming today.
Thank you so much for having me. It was wonderful to meet you. Hi, my name is Marcus Gadson. I'm running for District 37 seat in the General Assembly at the State House of Representatives, and I wanted to come by and introduce myself and get us to know each other a little bit better. And also, if you have the time, I'd love to hear a little bit about what issues you are really worried about and what you'd like me to address in the General Assembly.
Oh, hi Marcus. Well, thank you so much for coming. I'm happy that someone is actually coming around to ask about the issues that we're having here in North Carolina, specifically in our district. Right now, I'm really concerned about public education in our state.
Yeah, as a former teacher, I also share those concerns. And, I watched a lot of my colleagues leave the state due to being underpaid and underfunded. And I've seen certain areas like special needs that are high-risk areas of education be underfunded, and it causes students to really struggle.
I'm a public school parent. I have a child in pre-K, and I really think a lot about making sure he has a quality education. This is personal to me. And so I'm actually just really worried because North Carolina now, we are below the national average in how our students are achieving in schools and in how we pay teachers. And so for me, that's just not good enough. What I want us to do is I want us to commit to being number one in public education, especially at teaching those basics like reading and writing skills. But also I want to worry about making sure that they become good citizens and that they really value what it is to live in a democracy. So here's the number one thing we can do to achieve that vision. We need to make sure that our teachers are well compensated, and that means raising teacher salaries so that they are competitive with Virginia and other states, so that teachers who are doing great work feel like they can stay in the classroom. Because if we get really excellent, high-quality teachers, then our students are going to benefit and their skills are going to develop. And so that's what I'm going to focus on in the General Assembly, is really making sure we support our teachers so that we can support our students. You mentioned actually that you're, really worried about education, but you can make a difference by voting and making sure that you support candidates that also care a lot about public education. So can I ask, have you made a plan to vote?
Yeah, I think I'm going to vote on Election Day, but I forgot what day that was.
This March 3rd is the Election Day. And you also have the option to early vote. That starts on February 12th in the state, and then you can also continue early voting all the way up until February the 28th, if you'd like to.
Okay.
So you've got some options.
Oh, that's perfect. I didn't realize that the early voting was that long. I'll definitely see if I can early vote and make sure I bring all my friends and family with me.
That's wonderful. And if you have any questions about your polling place or where to go, you can just go on the internet and actually find NC Voter Lookup, and that will actually tell you your polling place and where you need to go.
Oh, that's even easier. I'll make sure that they all know their polling locations as well.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for making the time to talk with me. And really, let's make sure that we make our public school system the best we can.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Marcus. I appreciate you coming by today.
Good afternoon. My name is Marcus Gadson, and I'm running for a District 37 seat in the State House of Representatives. And I just wanted to come say hi, introduce myself, and I wanted to hear from you a little bit about what issues you're most concerned about so that I can work on addressing them when I get to the General Assembly.
Hi, Marcus. Well, great to meet you. Thank you so much for coming by and actually want to hear issues that I have. One of the things I'm most concerned about is I call my representative, I email them, but I just feel like they never answer me. They never represent the values that I represent, and I just don't feel like I'm being heard and that they're addressing anything that I'm concerned about in our state or in our district. So I want to see if there's something we could do about that.
I feel the same way. I feel like our representatives have been more focused on redistricting and gerrymandering than they have actually focusing on the important issues like education or cost of living.
Well, we can make choices that make that situation better. It's true, our politicians have been focusing on redistricting to keep themselves in power and not addressing issues that really are so important to voters. And so here's what we need to do. It's actually pretty simple. We need to adopt an independent redistricting commission in North Carolina and take the power to draw districts away from the legislature and give it to an independent commission so that they're drawing districts not to favor a political party, but to actually fairly represent all North Carolinians. And then once that's done, we'll have a General Assembly that actually reflects the makeup of our state, and then they will be motivated to pursue policies that a majority of us actually want. And I'll just add, I actually teach classes on constitutional law, North Carolina constitutional law, the federal constitution, and state constitutions, and I really feel like I've got some really good expertise that I can use to make sure that we have a great independent commission here in North Carolina.
Okay, perfect. Wow, really happy you actually have a plan. That makes me feel a little bit better just knowing at least someone out there has a plan and cares about what I care about. I really appreciate that.
And you're actually step one on the plan, because in order to actually put the plan into place, we need people to vote, representatives in who know about this issue and then are going to actually reform gerrymandering so that we address cost of living and education. And so you've got to vote us in. Do you have a plan to vote?
I don't have a plan to vote just yet. How would I even find my voting information?
Well, it's actually really easy in North Carolina. You can go on the internet and you can look up NC Voter Lookup, and that will actually pull up your polling place that you need to go to make sure you're in the right place. And you've got options on the dates that you want to vote. The actual date itself is March 3rd, but if you're really busy on March 3rd, maybe you've got other obligations, you can actually early vote starting on February the 12th all the way up to February 28th.
Okay, perfect. Wow, I didn't realize there were so many options. Yeah, so I'm definitely going to check my ballot and check all my voting locations and make a plan to vote, definitely during early voting.
Thank you so much. It's really heartening to see a conscientious citizen making sure that they're voting and making their voice heard, and it was just an absolute pleasure to meet you.
You too. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.